Good day, everyone. Welcome back to DocTalk. Today we have around about a dozen questions, but don't forget, we will also be taking live questions, so please ask them on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, and also intercom on our website, and I will answer all your questions to the best of my ability. But before we get started, okay, I'd like to just mention a couple things. I'm really excited to announce that next week on Tuesday, January the 21st at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we are premiering our Master Trainer interview with John Killick and Robin Senick. Okay, these are two Master Trainers that work in northern BC and near the Alberta border, and they're going to be talking about how they open their practice, and they're going to be talking about all the different types of therapies that they do, okay? Also, next week, we have two amazing shows with Dr. Michael Finkelstein, one on Wednesday, January the 22nd, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and the first one is called Everything You Need to Know About Alzheimer's. And then on Thursday, January the 23rd at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we have TikTok Lyme disease. Now, why are we doing those two? Because they're two hot topics right now, and we're going to be doing a Q&A on Monday, the following Monday, so only a couple days later, and we're going to be doing a Q&A on both of these shows. So send your questions in, okay, underneath when you watch the shows, and we're going to answer them to the best of our ability. How does that sound? Okay. All right, so let's get right to it. Now, before I came down to come into the show, I was on the phone with a very lovely lady. Her name is Anna. Now, Anna, okay, is talking about coming here for personal treatment and training, right? And I just said, look at Anna, I'm going to be downstairs in 5 minutes, but if you give me some information, I'll answer your questions. So here we go, okay? So this is for you, Anna, okay? First and foremost. First of all, Anna, I found out, is 193 pounds. Now, right off the bat, we know that Anna should be about 135, maximum 140 pounds. So we know that Anna, and when I say this, Anna, you need to understand something, okay? It's not your fault. Everybody out there, it's not your fault. And I don't want you to feel guilty about it, but understand this, that means that you're 53 pounds overweight. And what does that mean? Well, that's 53 pounds of inflammation. 53 pounds of inflammation. Do you know how much pain that is to carry around? I mean, understand something. You know, we've got corporations and we've got society systems embracing the big and bold. That's what they say, right? Big and bold. Well, understand, the bigger you get, the more heart disease you have, the more cancer you have, the more diabetes you have, okay? The less you're physically able to do, okay? So it causes a lot of problems. But listen, don't worry about it. Corporations are going to make you feel comfortable. They're going to make bigger clothing. They're going to make bigger seats, because guess what? Right now, as it stands, 60% of the population, okay, is actually obese in a lot of parts of the United States and Canada. And 80% of the population is overweight. So now we're outnumbered. So now what they're going to do, our corporations and governments are going to start, because governments work for corporations. I mean, like, we didn't know that one. So they're going to start building things and doing things to accommodate those people that are overweight. But the problem is that if we continue going on like this, the next generation will be worse than this generation, which we already know that children are stated right now 13 to 15 years that they will live less than their parents of today. So it's not really something that we should really brag about. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, the world is not ending, but the human population is collapsing right now because everybody's health is collapsing. Not everybody, but the majority of the population. Let's get back to Anna. So Anna is 50. She is 5'7". She weighs 193 pounds. Okay. And she should be around 135 pounds. And like I said, that's a lot of weight to carry around. So you feel uncomfortable, right? And the reality is, it's if we can get in there and reduce the inflammation in her life. Now, we have to reduce the inflammation, Anna, on an emotional and physical level. So that's our first deal, okay? That's the first deal that we're going to do. Now, what I told Anna was, because I didn't have time, I'm going to now tell Anna what she needs to do before she comes for her personal treatment and training. And what a personal treatment and training is, everyone, is people will come here and we'll show them how to do our Wolfe Non-Surgical, okay? But I told Anna, I said, Anna, we need to prepare. So I'd like Anna to do at least 2 months preparation before she comes here. If she reduces her inflammation, she's going to reduce her weight, which is great, but she's going to increase her energy. The more inflammation you have, the less energy you have. The more inflammation you have, the less immune system you have. So that's the deal right there. And don't think they don't know that out there either. Okay. So let's go through this a little bit. So she stated that she has fibromyalgia. Well, understand something. Fibromyalgia is not a disease. It's just a symptom. There are no diseases. They're all symptoms. Everything is a symptom. Cancer is actually a symptom. But, if you look at the medical system, they have over 200 different cancers, but they're all just symptoms of being out of balance emotionally and physically with the human body. Because your physical body is just a vehicle for your spirit to be able to do all these things on planet Earth, like eating, living, laughing, loving, dancing, and everything else that you just love to enjoy. But the reality is that I have to tell you that it's not set up out there properly. The systems and the corporations really, they pretend that they're there to support you, but they really aren't, okay? Their bottom line is the most important thing. But back to you, Anna. Fibromyalgia just means fibro means fiber, okay? My means muscle. Algia means pain. So you've got pain in your muscle fibers. Now, does that have to stay like that? No. So it's just a condition. And I know when you have fibromyalgia, it's bouncing all over the place, right? And that's basically because you're acidic, you've got leaky gut, your large intestine. It's supposed to be a compost. In a healthy compost, if you put healthy fruits and vegetables into your compost in the backyard, you're going to be creating the right type of soil and organisms to put into your garden. Now, the garden would be the body, and what you get from your garden will depend on the compost you use and the health of the bacteria that go into the garden. Now, with most people, what we see is that the weeds get to grow, okay, in their body, which is the scar tissue. So what you're going to get when you've got somebody that has, she's 193 pounds, so basically 53 pounds, approximately overweight. That's 53 pounds of inflammation. That's creating crystallization, scar tissue formation, and it's pulling calcium from her bones like crazy. No wonder everybody's got osteopenia, verging on osteoporosis. I mean, you'll have your bone structure, you'll lose some calcium, but the reality is that there's nothing wrong with that. We have so much of it, but we start losing too much and we start shrinking and our bone starts fracturing. So, yes. And wait a minute. She has a blockage in her aorta. Now, for the last year, they've been saying to Anna that they want to put a stent in her heart. Now, understand something. I always say, no matter where you go, that if you decide to go for surgery, always go for a second, even a third opinion. I mean, you're worth it, aren't you? I mean, when you didn't come to me right away, and I'm saying, challenge me. Look at my information. See how logical it is. Is it life-threatening? Check everything to see what's going on. You mean, it's worth it. Whether you believe this or not. Just because it's government approved doesn't mean that it's safe, okay? So I want you to get that right off the bat. All right. So I'm not telling anybody not to have surgery, but I'm saying that if you're not in a life-threatening situation that you got to move right now. Meanwhile, this doctor told her that it was life-threatening, and it's been over a year, and she still hasn't gotten the stent. So if you're not going to take massive personal action at learning how to honor, respect, and love yourself, and then from the minute you get up until you go to bed, what to actually eat, drink, and think, and what exercises are going to open up your abdominal area and your pelvis to get the circulation going, then I would say you should have that surgery. And I would still say that I'm not the one. I'm not a medical doctor. Okay. I'm a natural health practitioner. Okay. So that's where my avenue is. But I always say to people, no matter if you get the surgery or you don't get the surgery, shouldn't you learn how to create the perfect day on an emotional and physical level? I mean, what are we thinking here? Okay. And remember, the further you leave from nature and the more chaos you create in your mind, the more trouble you're going to have. So right off the bat, I truly believe that I believe that the human body is so powerful that it can dissolve any type of blockage, which would either be scar tissue crystallization or calcification in the human body, but you've got to do the right things. And here's what I'm going to do for you, Anna. Like I tell everyone that they're coming for a personal treatment and training. And this is for everybody else out there too. I mean, you know what I tell everyone in my classes that come to take my trainings? And that is find your gift and then gift the world with it every day. So here's what I'll do. Anna, what I want you to do is I want you to go and watch the 12 Braveheart loving steps in my library. So go to docofdetox.com, go to the top of the library, click on library, go watch the Braveheart loving steps and also read the guide. It's not that big a deal. Go through it and start off definitely with the love band work, start off with the mirror work, okay, and learn how to connect to your breath, and then start bringing in those 12 loving steps as much as you can, okay, and release that little girl inside and make this into fun. Don't make it into something serious, okay? The sooner you get rid of fear, okay, and you bring in faith, the more that you're going to be able to heal fast. You know what? When people have a disease or an illness, a disease, which is basically a symptom that's out of control because you haven't gotten the right information, you got disinformation, okay? What happens is all they do is run a fear program. As long as you run a fear program, you're running adrenaline and cortisol into your body, which is bringing down your energy, bringing up your inflammation. And so that's why, Anna, we can't have you come here right away. I'd be stealing your money. I got to reduce the inflammation in you. So when we start helping to pull the scar tissue apart, and when we start moving things out, okay, we've reduced the inflammation, so we have the energy to actually create the healing. So go look at the Doc of Detox library, go through the 12 loving steps. Also go to the Perfect Day Guide, go to page 37, read about 20 pages of the Perfect Day and start bringing that in to your lifestyle. Then I want you to go, and I'm going to give you the code word. You can go to my masterclass. It's called A to Z Masterclass, okay? A to Z Wellness Masterclass. Put the code in MASTER, and then you will be a member for life. That's it. Then you're going to go to page 5 of the A to Z Masterclass guide. Read to 35 to get the foundation that you understand that the body always overcompensates when it has inflammation. So whether or not you're in a car accident, sports injury, or whether or not you have a chronic condition because you're not getting the right care, okay, your body's always overcompensating, bringing in too much calcium, too much crystallization, too much scar tissue. And that's why you need a Wolfe Non-Surgical therapist to go in and clean up the mess, because even after you're healed, you know, you feel stiff, you don't move the same. And these energy blocks, that's exactly what they are. These physical blocks are energy blocks. They slow down the blood, the lymph, the energy. And so your energy is always going to be lower. It's like, you know what? After that illness, I never ever got back to my old self. Well, because guess what? Even though they said you were healed, they didn't get rid of the physical block. As far as I'm concerned, I think everybody in the world needs to know how to do Wolfe Non-Surgical and learn these techniques. So go through that information that I just said. And also, if you have the time, go to YouTube to How's Your Plumbing. They're not long, and watch that. And then watch the Holy Grail of healing. And if you did all these things, you're going to know that I'm not lying or justifying my therapy, that it's not my therapy, it's your body. And the problem is you've never been given the tools, and the tools you gave, they said, here's a hammer, take that screw out or tighten that screw up. How are you going to do it? No, you've been wrecking your body. So if we can give you really powerful tools emotionally and physically, we will turn this around. So that's your homework. And I already told you, Anna, to give me a call tomorrow. Okay? You call me tomorrow. And after you've listened to what I said, if you have any questions, let's get you started. And then I'm going to tell you something right now. If we were to work together, okay, for the next 6 weeks to 3 months, you are going to know that you are an amazing healer. All right? So you got to become the practitioner that you've been searching for. All right, so let's go to question 1. Oh, and also, Drake, can you go get my phone? Or tell them to bring my phone in case we get live questions, because Jason has it. All right, so Colleen from Ontario, what are your thoughts about CBD oil? Well, I think that CBD oil is great, but guess what? I would say that probably 95% or more of them, it's not regulated enough, are toxic. I'd say that you're not really finding the quality and the quantity that they're saying is actually in there, the milligrams. I would also say this, that the reason why we have to do so much CBD today is because of all the blue light. Believe it or not, all the blue light that comes off of computers, off of all the LED lighting, off your TV, off your phone. I mean, it's everywhere. Okay, it knocks out the endocannabinoid system that is in your body that actually creates CBD. How's that? So I'm not saying not to do it, but the reality is the endocannabinoid system really helps with stem cell therapy, really helps with inflammation. So yes, we are an inflammation nation. I would tell people, though, that especially if they work on computers or if they're on their phone a lot, that they better get some Tesla glasses, maybe look at silver bullet spray, maybe look at fulvic eye drops, okay? Because if you're feeling inflammation in the eyes, which a lot of people do, right? All right, so I got my phone, and so if anybody wants to call in or send in a text, I'll be able to take your messages, okay? All right. Okay. So as far as CBD oil goes, hey, I think that, if you're getting relief from it and it's helping you, but please do not use it. Do not use it as a crutch. And that's what we do. It's like colon therapy. Some people will go and get a colonic every week. They use it as a crutch. Well, your bowel says, well, you know what? I guess I'm not needed. That's just like doing coffee enemas every day for the rest of your life. Your bowel's not going to like it. We do coffee enemas because we want to clean out our liver, but we're not going to overdo it. Like most people, I say, even if you're in a chronic condition, you're not going to do a coffee enemas for more than 30 days. You better back off, and start listening to your body. That's why it's called gut instinct. We need to listen to our body about everything. You know what? Did you ever notice it's called balance? It's called harmony. All right. Tell me that people today aren't using marijuana, alcohol, and prescription drugs as an escape. All right. Number 2. Hi, Sarah. Can milk cause cancer? Let me put it to you this way. Milk is one of the most inflammatory foods that you can put in the human body. So that'd be milk, yogurt, and cheese. Okay. They're the worst. They're the worst. Can it cause cancer? I don't think I wouldn't say, it causes cancer in everybody who drinks it, but everything is an accumulation of everything, right? For one thing, let me just give you some guidelines. First of all, cow's milk, 20 times larger than mother's milk. So you know what? 20 times larger, do you know how hard it would to be able to break that down and get it into the cells? So that means it's an allergen to everyone. So everybody's allergic to dairy, but not everybody has symptoms from it, but it will bite them in the butt, especially the old type people that can break protein down better, but it's still inflammatory. And the other thing is once you stop breastfeeding from your mother's milk, there's an enzyme that has stopped being produced, so you cannot break milk down properly. We know that. And then people will turn to goat's milk, and goat's milk is 7 times larger than mother's milk. So it doesn't cause as many troubles, but it's still an animal product. It's still dairy. And you know what? You couldn't give me a yogurt factory using dairy. You couldn't give me a slice of cheese. I'll say to people, well, I got to get off the dairy. And I am. Well, do you eat cheese? Yeah. See, people don't even think cheese, it doesn't register in here. But eating cheese, like putting a cork up your butt. And will dairy cause cancer? Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Now, if you're inflamed because you're a fearful person all the time and you're a sugar junkie, gluten junkie, you got to have your wine every day, okay, and you don't drink enough water. Okay, a friend of mine, okay, I was talking to today, his sister, okay, is actually doing Accutane, which is for it's prescription. Basically, it's a prescription for skin problems, right? And she hardly drinks any water. He took her to the hospital today because she's throwing up bile and acid. You know, she drinks like 12 ounces of water a day, and that's, I mean, this is like a volcano. That's why the acid has to come out, because you're just like boiling up inside. Again, inflammation. Something's got to blow. The next thing she says, I have read articles about the keto diet, and they mention that it's okay to drink milk, heavy cream, and eat butter. Okay, first of all, has anybody heard of the Atkins diet? The Atkins diet was around back a little over 30 years ago, and it blew up in everybody's face. Ooh, this is going to blow up in everybody's face. Heavy cream, eat butter, drink milk. It's all good. You know what? These are people that don't want to give up on the animal products. I'm not telling you to give up on the animal products. You do whatever you want, but just understand something. There's a price to pay. There's a price to pay for all of this. And you know what? Let's just write this down right now, that in 5 years from now, this whole keto thing is going to be, oh my God, we overdid it. Isn't it great how we always overdo it? And then every year, there's a new supplement that everybody promotes, or there's this new thing that everybody promotes. There's this new diet. Are you done yet? Okay, I'm going to tell you something. I haven't changed my way in 35 years. The same thing I'm doing today, I was basically talking about and doing back then. Some things have tweaked, right? Because I don't do colon therapy anymore, because I believe that, you know, our bodies are amazing and they can take over. I'm against colon therapy? No, I'm not. You need to get the cork out sometimes, but to use anything as a crutch, it's going to blow up in your face. Just like this whole keto thing. It's keto nuts. You know what? I'd like to see people do a keto, whole plant-based diet, program, lifestyle. And you know what? If you want to do a little bit of animal products here and there, that's fine. But it's coming for you. All right, Boots. Okay, Boots from YouTube. My biggest addiction is sugar. I am at a constant fight with myself to stay away from sugar. Why do I have such craving, and what can I do to change the craving? Well, first of all, Boots, it doesn't matter what the program is. I have a craving to work out, and when I don't, I have a craving to make sure I do one really great salad a day. I have a craving to make sure that I never allow fear to come in. As soon as I even smell it, no, it's not happening. 3, 2, 1, I got this. Understand something. Whatever you practice and repeat the most will be your prominent program. So you practice doing sugar the most, so that's your prominent program. And if you really understood the subconscious mind, then you would understand that 90% of it is really based on a structure called the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind, it only stores programs. First of all, everybody thinks that consciousness is in the brain. I don't believe that. Consciousness is outside of us. It's within inside of us. It's in our cells. It's in our bacteria. It's in the blood. It's in the lymph. It's in the bone. It's everywhere. So it's in the what people would call aura or energy field around you. Okay, so that's consciousness. So let's get that perfectly clear. That's scientifically proven, and it is proven, but most people can't even wrap their head around this one. Okay? All right, so when we talk about craving, so here we go. Here's the problem, Boots. So first of all, it's not your fault. But when you're a child, when you go out to eat, what do you get to pick from? Oh, the kiddie menu, which is just flour and sugar, which flour is only 2 steps away from sugar. And if you do enough flour products like bread and everything else, then you're going to be racking yourself out still. So now the kiddie menu is full of sugar. Oh, when you're good, what do? You get a treat. Whenever there's a holiday, you get a treat. Everybody wants a sweet treat every day. And if your family buys processed foods, there's sugar laced in all your processed foods that you buy. Everything. It's laced in everything. Okay, it's scandalous. Okay, the average person eats 150 pounds of sugar a year. 150 pounds. I mean, we are druggies. And if you don't think that processed sugar is a drug, it is. Just like fructose is. Even if you're doing maple syrup, which is healthy for you, but you can do too much. You can do too much. It goes in too fast. So yes, we can have alternatives, but we get addicted to the high. So here's the problem. The problem is when you repeat something enough, it becomes what? A belief, which then becomes a program in the mind. Now, whatever you do the most and is the biggest part of your life is the biggest belief, and it's really dug in deep. So here it is. Now the sugar program that you're on is like a 6-lane highway. So what you got to do is you got to make sure that you don't go to any corner stores. You got to make sure that you don't throw when you go to shopping, you got to make sure that you're going to eat before you go. A balance, fill yourself up diet before you go shopping, because your brain is going to pull a trick on you. The cookies are going to go in, the granola bars. There's no such thing as a good energy bar. End of story. There's better ones, but there's no healthy ones. So I'm telling you there isn't. Now, so you're going to see stuff go in there. I'm no different. I'm only telling you this because I had to go through this too. So we're going to make sure we eat when we go shopping. We're not going to go into any corner stores. And we're not going to bring any junk food into the house. If you get a craving, you got to go buy it and eat it in the car or eat it outside, but you don't bring it home. Because at home, we get tired, we get weak, we jump for that stuff. Everybody in the house is not allowed to bring any sugar into the house. If you don't do this, you're not going to win. It's not going to happen. It is a drug. They don't care how much sugar. They don't care if you die because of sugar. Listen. 150,000 people die every year because they eat too much sugar. 150,000 people die every year because they eat too much sugar. So, the biggest problem you're going to have is when you go to start eating differently and doing this, your subconscious isn't going to like it. Your subconscious, it hates the present moment. It hates the future because it doesn't know what's there. And its job is to keep you healthy. And it's saying, you know what, Boots? Guess what? The sugar is killing you, but you're still alive. And now you want to go and eat vegetables, and you want to start having a balanced diet, and you want to stop drinking Coke, and you want to stop eating chocolate bars and with sugar and everything. That's scaring me because your subconscious mind is not intelligent. Your subconscious mind is not intelligent at all. It is a big cabinet that stores prominent beliefs, and you're going to have to work on this. So I would get a Braveheart band and go, I got this. The new me doesn't do that. The new me drinks at least 3 quarts of water a day. The new me is doing a quart of carrot juice a day. The new me is doing 2 blender drinks with organic fruit in it and almond milk and a really great, protein powder, chickpea protein powder. The new me is making sure that I'm exercising. The new me is, soon as I think about sugar, I go and I eat something right away that's good for me, whether it's a celery stick or anything. You got to work on this. Because guess what? As soon as you start doing this, you just broke away from the system. And understand something. You go and try and get into your car and drive down the street and look for a good place that has a great menu. Well, there isn't. I got the Cactus Club that has what's called a raincoat salad. I like that. I have another place that has some good soups if I want to go there. But basically, I've got nowhere to eat, and there's like 250,000 people that live here, and I could eat, to go to these restaurants, I could eat at 20 different drive-thrus. So don't give me anything about anybody out there like government or corporations or the medical healthcare system really caring about where we're going here. Okay? All right? Everything is about money. Okay? People before money. So the sugar craving, I'm going to tell you something. Here's your tip. I would get fulvic, which is right here, and I would put, nope, that's pineal. The fulvic is right here. That's fulvic acid. I'd be putting fulvic acid in my drinking water, and I would also be putting super cinnamon in my drinking water as well. And did you know that if you just put a couple drops of cinnamon and shake it and put it in a container and drink it, right away, it balances your blood sugar and it takes away your sugar craving. Yeah. But just make sure that you're drinking lots of water and make sure that you have fruit on hand. You know, grapes, watermelon. It doesn't matter. Pick the fruit you want. Okay? It's like you got to negotiate with that stubborn subconscious until it believes that you really want to change the program and it trusts you. Your subconscious doesn't trust the future, and it doesn't trust you. And understand something. Your subconscious is going to kill you until you get rid of all the beliefs that are poisoning you on an emotional and physical level out of your subconscious. Because when they get prominent, when a belief gets really prominent, every cell in the human body, which is called the unconscious body, picks up that belief. And now guess what? You'll actually go and grab something that is no good for you, put it in your mouth and start eating it, and you go, oh my God, I thought I was going to quit it. And then you'll beat up on yourself because I'm so stupid, and then you'll bring yourself down, and that's how your subconscious tricks you and gets you back into it. Because did you ever notice when you get depressed, you get upset, do you make a salad? Do you do nice things for yourself? Do you stay connected to your breath? No. So between society and your subconscious, boy, oh boy, you know, we've got the terrorist act here. You got to learn how to love yourself. I got this. There's a new sheriff in town. And that's all you got to do. And don't worry about failing 100 times today. Because tomorrow you're going to fail 90. The next day you're going to fail 80. The next day you're going to fail 70. And then the next day, your subconscious is going to rear up against you because you got stressed out and you're going to go back to where you were 4 days ago and you're going to go, that's okay. I'm allowed to start over. I'll get this. Repetition is the key. You know why people win the Olympics? Because they don't give up. They practice. So practice at loving yourself. That's it. Okay. Iris, what would be your approach to heal shunting in the lungs? Well, right off the bat, we just talked about it. You need to drink lots of structured water. That's a structured water unit. Okay, not that you have to get mine. I'm only showing you things. I run all my water through that. I'd get a structured water unit, and I would be, if I'm a woman, I would be drinking 3 quarts. If I'm a man, 4 to 5 quarts, depending if I'm overweight. Okay, and the other thing that I would be doing, I would be on no inflammatory foods at all. None. And believe it or not, your large intestine is directly related to your lungs. So I would make sure that my bowels are moving all the time. And I would learn to do the Lionheart breathing so I could start to fill my lungs up to start to slowly exercise them. But the other thing I would do is I'd run essential oils like in my home, like Immunity, to start taking that into my lungs and breathing in. I'd also do nebulizing. I don't know if I have one here. Nope, we don't. But I would get a nebulizer and I would put silver bullet in it, or I would put fulvic nano eye drops in it, and I would start breathing in. Even if I breathe once of the silver bullet or the fulvic and I started to choke, I would just do maybe one breath every 15 minutes, and I'd take a small one, take baby steps, because if you choke from doing that, it just shows you're full of mucus and full of viral and bacterial. And so that's the die-off. So you got to go easy and go slow. And if they were my lungs, I'm only saying if they were my lungs, I would be doing clapping on my lungs and I would be going as hard as this. I'd start off easy, and I would go as hard as this. And I would do that, not right away, but I'd work my way up to doing about an hour a day. I would. And chances are you're going to see some tenderness, some red, even some bruising in the area. So let it heal. But guess what? When you've got beautiful lungs, you're never going to see you'll see just redness from clapping. You're not going to have a shirt on. You take your shirt off. And you're going to see some from clapping. But the reality is guess what? Within probably a few days to a couple weeks, you'll do the clapping for an hour, and guess what? You won't be bruising anymore. Oh, well, when things bruise, they're overripe, aren't they? When things bruise, like they're rotten, aren't they? Well, that's because your lungs are rotten. And what happens if you clap your lungs? Well, you're going to get the stem cells to kick in. You're going to get the circulation going. You're going to get everything going in here. And that's the thing, wouldn't it be that? Because it's always about mucus being created from the irritation that's in there, created from the infection that's in there. And if you weren't a smoker or it wasn't an asbestos problem, I guarantee it's a bowel problem. Okay. And then people that have like asthma or lung problems, they're running really deep fear programs. There's not a condition in the human body that didn't start off invisible and then became physical. That's it. So otherwise, dysfunctional emotional problem that became a physical problem. And that's how people don't know this, but the greatest healer in the world is a person or a practitioner that understands that there's not a dis-ease or a negative symptom in the body without a negative emotion first. And when you've got a negative emotion and you keep repeating it, it's like this. The same mind that caused the problem isn't going to be the mind to fix it. Let's tell you that much. So unless you're willing to look at parts of your personality and do something different, you know what? You know what I think is really amazing here? I mean, hang in here with me. But you know what I think is really amazing? How hundreds of thousands of people will do the same treatment out there, and a lot of them are losing their lives, and they're not getting better at all. But just like cattle, we just go and do it. Just keep on doing it. You just keep on doing it. How many people does it take to fail at a therapy or some type of something they take orally that's hurting them for people to wake up? I mean, what's it going to take? So understand something. The world's not ending. The human race is going to end. Or you're going to end. I'm not going to end, because I'm way ahead of this thing. Like, you know why? Because I'll tell you right now, I love everybody because you can't go around hating. That's where you're going to get cancer. And the good, the bad, and the ugly out there, it's all just the way planet Earth is. We're never going to stop going to war. Like, when's that happened? So, and do you ever notice they keep on trying to get me to hate and you to get to hate someone, I don't know, a different colored person, a different language, or someone in a different country, or I'm not doing it. I'm not hating anyone. And take a look who's doing it, who's playing this game, and start playing your own game. Bring it all back to yourself. See how much you can put yourself into nature. See how much that you can actually focus on yourself and love yourself and not demand that your family makes you feel worthy. Do it for yourself and then shine that light on your family and become a Braveheart hero. John from Facebook, should a person with mercury toxicity from amalgams be taking probiotics? Yeah, of course you could take probiotics. But John, probiotics are not the key. If it's Mommy's Bacteria that you got when you did that nosedive down her birth canal and you got all those vaginal juices and even the good, the bad, and the ugly of bacteria and everything all over your skin and your eyes and your mouth, that is the most powerful immune building thing you'll ever have in your life. And that's why, let me just tell you a story, buddy. And this is a true story. So anyways, a long time ago, a very good friend of mine, she had to have a cesarean section. And she was really worried about this. This is back when I was like around 25. This is when I first heard about this. And she said, oh my gosh, you know what? I have to have a cesarean, and my baby is not going to be able to come down the birth canal, which is one of the most important things that could ever happen before you come into the world, right? So that you get all Mommies bacteria all over you and in you. And anyway, so I did my research a long time ago, and believe it or not, what we were told to do, and I went to the birth, is to get a 4-inch by 4-inch natural sponge and then put it into the vagina and do that at least about, 8 hours prior, okay? And then as soon as the baby's born, of course, that sponge, you sponge the baby, the eyes, the ears, over the mouth, on the skin, everywhere. And don't be grossed out. This is life. This is life. You know what? You've got approximately 50 trillion cells in that your body's made up of. But you know what? You got 500 trillion bacteria that are crawling on my eyelids, all over my skin, in my mouth, up my nose, in my ears. And then I've got 2.5 kilos of them in my large intestine that are the smartest part of me. My smartest part of me is not up here. The smartest part of you is your good bacteria. And that's why you ever notice that people that are bloated, people that are, and please, no offense here, do not throw anything at me. People that are overweight, they can't think like they used to, okay? The mentality comes down, all right? It's because your good bacteria aren't good. They are pissed off. They are angry, and they are sick. And then you have this gut-brain disconnection, and you can't think straight. Geez, I can't think straight. Well, yeah, I can see why. You're toxic. You're polluted. You've got endotoxin coming into your bloodstream. All right? And understand something. For every time your brain talks, your bacteria talk 9 times more to the body and telling everything what to do and how to do it. Don't kid yourself. You know what? Out there, okay, you know what? Your bacteria have become enemy of the state, haven't they? Enemy of the state, your bacteria. You get sick, what do they go after? Your bacteria. We already know that's a big mistake. That's a big mistake. All right. Okay. So anyways, let's go back to this. So the best thing you could do with somebody who's got mercury toxicity is I would get them on our fulvic concentrate. I'd get them on Tummy Love. I'd get them on daily cleansing tea, and I'd get them doing coffee enemas. Because if you don't clean that liver out, you're in big trouble. Get them on drinking structured water, John, and a ton of it, and get them eating a whole plant-based diet. I guarantee you that mercury will come down. And here's the other thing, too. You know what? And this is a fact. Every negative emotion has a frequency, and if you can't bring love in and get rid of negative frequencies, you will actually draw heavy metals into your body, and they won't be released. You heard what I said. And the more fungus you have, the more heavy metals you're going to have in your body, because the heavy metals, they get stuck in the fungus. All right, so things to think about. From Michigan, can you tell us if juicing unlimited amounts of carrots and beet juice for cancer patients feeds cancer or kills cancer? Is carrots toxic to the liver? Never heard of that in my life. I wouldn't do tons of beet juice, especially at the beginning, because it's a real liver detoxifier and you're going to make them feel sick. And the other thing is, we'll tippy toe in, but here's the deal. So if carrot juice and beet juice causes cancer? Let me see here. Feeds cancer. Well, guess what? We all have cancer cells. I got cancer cells. I do carrot juice every day. I did a quart of carrot juice before I came down here. I'm not really keen on beets. It's just me, right? I don't need to do everything. But the reality is that beet juice and carrot juice, the sugar does not feed the cancer. End of story. And I'll stand behind that forever and a day. I just wouldn't give the cancer patient too much beet juice right away. Okay? You know, there's a limit to everything, because everything that we take in that's a concentrated nutrition is going to stimulate, right? So the higher the vibration of the food, everything that's lower, it's going to kick out. So if your toxins were at this level and you took something in at this level, that's not a lot of detoxification, is it? But if the toxins were at this level and the beet juice and carrot was at this level, look at how much you're going to be dumping. You're going to put your body into a healing crisis. So yeah, everything, just use common sense. Where did common sense go? Not to you, I'm not saying you, but there is no common sense out there anymore. Donna from Winnipeg, I really need to sort out my diet, terrible sugar cravings, and my intuition keeps telling me to go on a plant-based diet. Well, that would be good. Go to The Perfect Day, take a look at it on page 37, read for about 20 pages, and see, and then start tippy-toeing in there and understand something. You know what? When you start eating high vibrational things, it kicks out low vibrational things. So, go gradually, but go quick enough that you actually go, wow, I'm getting more energy. I feel better. And if you feel nauseous, well, then I would say if you feel nauseous from doing it, you might want to do a little bit of baking soda, like a teaspoon in a glass of water. That'll bring down the nauseousness. But some people can't jump into a high vibrational diet right away because you'll get diarrhea, you'll get vomiting, you'll get a fever. It's like this. Don't turn everything on for detox too fast. Okay, and that's why you want a guide. You can always call in if you want and get a Perfect Day consultation. They're not expensive, by one of my trained therapists. Any advice how to get started? Here we go. Well, remember what I did at the very beginning with Anna? Well, I would tell you to do the same thing with Anna. Go through that. Get your questions together. You can send them in for the next Q&A, okay, which will be next Friday. Or if you want, you can call here and we'll help get you started. All right? Understand something. Just get started. And the biggest problem you're ever going to have out there in getting started is that the rest of the family aren't going to buy into this insanity. Because, eating a great diet and loving yourself is insanity. Nobody's doing it, so why would you do it? That's so crazy. It's just another cult. That's what people would think. Oh my gosh, you joined some kind of cult here. And that's because, remember that everybody has a subconscious, and just like you will struggle trying to make healthy changes, just think how your family's going to struggle with you not wanting to make the healthy changes and watching you do it. Well, you're a pain in their butt right now, okay? And even though they love you, they will still try to stop you from doing that protocol because their subconscious goes, no, we're not going there. This is new. This could kill us. Okay, Carrie, how are you doing? Can high doses of vitamin C eliminate cancer and parasites? If so, how much and how often? You know what? A lot of people are really heavy on the vitamin C. I don't tend to go that way. Vitamin C is great. Don't get me wrong. But actually, I have people that come to me that have to do parasite cleanses 3 or 4 times a year because their emotional vibrational is so low. Okay, because they didn't clean out their colon. If you want to get rid of parasites, clean out your colon and your liver. That would be what I would do. First thing I would do is get on daily cleansing tea, which is right here. I'm just showing it. You don't have to do. And first of all, if you want to go out and get products from somewhere else and you called us up, I'd say, okay, so what are you doing? I'm not going to answer your questions. So you don't need to buy our products or do our thing. So when I'm showing it, it's just to give you an idea because a lot of people say, why don't you show your products? So I'll show them quickly. Daily cleansing tea, that's it. I would also get on Black Gold, which is a powder. That's it right there. And then I would also get on Fulvic, all right, which I already showed you earlier. That's the Fulvic, okay? Those are the things that I would do if I wanted to get rid of parasites. Also, diatomaceous earth is really great. So those are the things you need to do. And I've got a surprise for you, okay? You wouldn't have parasites if you didn't have a manure pile that was decomposing, all right? So you have to understand something. You got to create the vibration to create it. There's no parasite living in me. And understand something. I could put you in a room, lock it down, and feed you low vibrational frequencies, like, emotionally bring you down, give you junk food, okay, and to get you constipated, and we would allow nothing else to get in there, and you'd be full of worms. You didn't get them from out there. Understand something. Every viral, bacterial, fungal on this planet can come alive in us depending on the environment that we create inside our body. So understand something. Environment is everything. The bug is nothing. So society says we're going to attack the bug. Now, I'm not telling you that if you're in a life-threatening situation that you shouldn't do antibiotics or go to the medical system because they're the greatest at emergency care. But the reality is here that the environment creates everything. Let me tell you something. Would I go to a party where people were angry and complaining about life? No, I'd leave there right away. What I do is I leave a party by about as soon as people are on their third drink. That's when I like to leave a party. All right. So when the environment changes, you want to get out. Okay? Just like relationships. You take a couple, they were in love at one time, they couldn't get enough of each other. Then after a few years, how's things? They're okay. How's things with you? It's okay, up and down, right? And so is your health. When your relationship with yourself and with your family is up and down, so is your health. And when you don't learn how to love yourself and bring your vibration up, here come the parasites. Here comes the fungus. Here comes the bad bacteria. Because you have to understand something. The invisible is more important than the physical. And the invisible is your energy, is your spirit. So where's your spirit at? Are you spirited? Okay? Or not? Okay. Aline Hurst from Sacramento. I have higher levels of platelets for years, many hematology tests, and no answer. Anything that could be causing it? Right off the bat, I'm going to tell you right now that exactly what I told Anna, that's the first thing you need to do. You know what? It's like, oh my gosh, everybody out there has forgotten the body heals. Isn't that something? And has forgotten that nature is God's gift to healing. Isn't that something? So forget nature, go to mankind who's not kind, and don't think that you're responsible for your body. And of course, you're just too stupid to ever heal yourself. Are you kidding me? You are a genius. Everybody has genius. Everybody has a hidden practitioner. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. All the degrees in the world, you know what? Yes, I went to the best surgeon. He's the world's best surgeon. Well, that's great. He's the world's best surgeon, but he's not in the health business. I went to the world's best medical doctor. That's great, but he's not in the health business, is he? You're going to tell me he's in the health business? I'm not putting him down. He's in the emergency business. You need to go somebody in the health business. Now, who could that be? Well, that could probably be your grandmother, because your great-grandmother probably knows more about health than I do. And isn't that something? A long time ago, before 1900s, just before the 1900s, we went to grandma. We went to the female herbalist of the town. All right. Anna from Montreal. I have a daughter who is on the kidney transplant list. What should I do for her first? I'm not for transplant and would rather have her go the natural route, but the doctors are insistent. Would a personal treatment and training be a good idea for her? I'm not sure I can get her to go with me to the training, as she has decided to do the transplant. How can I help her? Well, I always tell people, I would get a second and third opinion. I'm not a medical doctor. Next thing is that you can believe this or not believe this, but I'm telling you from my heart of hearts that people will pick therapies dependent on how much they love themselves. Now, I'm not telling her that she doesn't need this transplant. I'm telling you that I haven't been to a medical doctor, okay, since I was 18 years old. Did you get that? Okay. And that's the God's truth. I have not. Now, am I going to go see one? Well, if I have an emergency, but I'm not going to, but listen, having a cold or a flu or an ache or a pain or a fever is not an emergency. Thank you very much. An ache or a pain, your body's GPS, the most important physical GPS is called pain. And when you try to kill pain all the time, you're killing yourself. And if you learned how to master your body, you wouldn't have pain. You'd be having, hey, take a left-hand turn here. That's all. Not boom in the face, but you're going to get it in the face as long as you go to war with yourself. Oh, remember what I said? We go to war with everyone, don't we? And especially with ourselves. And that's the way it always will be here as long as you allow corporations to do your training. So, the transplant, well, if you know what? If she believes she needs a transplant, she needs to get one. So people will say to me, Dr. Wolfe, I want to come to you, but I really believe that if I don't get the chemotherapy or I don't get the radiation, I'll die. I say, go get the chemotherapy, go get the radiation. I'm not telling people what to do. Doctor, I feel like I really need to take these drugs. I say, you go do that, but why don't you embrace nature too? And why don't you try totally loving yourself, letting yourself off the hook from guilt, and understand that fear stands for false evidence appearing real. Why don't you just do that? And you know what? I know that I'm a real drama queen here, but the reality is we're losing out there. You know, a lot of my friends say, you know, we're doing a good job and, you know, things are changing. And you know what? Yeah, on some people, things are really changing because they understand that no matter how toxic the world gets, that you can be completely healthy. Yeah, but you got to have a completely healthy program. You got to learn how to create the perfect day from the minute you wake up until you go to bed. And yes, if she wants to go. So I did talk to this lady, and I said, well, have your daughter call me if she'd like to. But I would say that, you know, she said, should I bring her for the treatment and training? And I said, well, if she doesn't want to call me or talk to me, then chances are she's not going to come to the treatment and training anyways. And she goes, well, I want to come. And I said, well, then you should come and learn and do it. And even if your daughter does the transplant or does these other things, become the light for her. Okay? It's not about me trying to convert people that believe they have to have surgery or do these drugs, that they need to come over to my side. This is not a war against natural, against medical. This is about, it would be really great if we all came together, because there is definitely a place for me in the health world, but I am not into emergency care. I would do lousy at that. All right? And I know that. Okay. Anyways, I say give life a chance. Why not always give life a chance? Why not give yourself a chance? Why not let yourself off the hook? Why not understand that you're not a failure? Why not understand that you are beautiful? And I mean, everybody out there is beautiful. Your beliefs are not. Your beliefs are not, and they're not yours. Did you know that 70% of the beliefs that people have, you're not going to believe this one, minimum, are negative. And you're going, oh my gosh, how do you even stay alive? Well, because your spirit, it's your spirit. Even though you're choking it, you're suppressing it, you're bringing it down. And with every disease you have, and when you have a chronic disease, you might have 10 to 20 blocks in your body, physical blocks, which slows down your energy, slows down your blood, slows down your lymph. That's right. Like, did you ever notice that if you could be on a cell phone, somebody gives you a call, and you could walk into a building and you lose the signal? Well, what do you think happens when you have all these physical blocks? You lose the signal. Your spirit can't flow properly. Call it your chi, call it your aura, call it your energy, call it your grid, call it the field. Everybody calls it something different. Okay? Scientists call it the energy field. All right? Nadia from Facebook. Hi, Dr. Wolfe. My 18-year-old son suffers from severe abdominal pain. He has been clinically diagnosed with Familial Mediterranian fever, a faulty gene responsible in regulating inflammation in the body. How can I help him with the diet? Here's my deal. Fine. They might have found something. Do we also know this? The Genome Project, they spent billions of dollars to try to prove that it was a genetic thing. We already know that cancers are only 5% genetics. You know what? And if the cell is toxic enough, you're going to have some type of mutation in there. And you know what? I call BS, dysfunctional belief system. Believe what you want. I'm probably wrong. There you go. The reality is I'll make you a deal. Have your son come and I'll build him a program. If he does only 80% of what I ask, he'll have no more abdominal pain. We'll reduce his inflammation to 0 because you're allowed to be 20% bad when you're younger. That's it. And I'll tell you right now, he's not drinking structured water. He isn't on a whole plant-based diet. And guess what? He's not, if I were to say, what are his bowels like? They sink to the bottom. He has to squeeze them out. He only goes once a day or maybe once every 2 to 3 days. I would love you to come on this show, and I'd love everyone to hear what the mother has to say about the child, how he can't sleep properly, okay, how he doesn't drink the water. And I would love to take a look in your cupboards and your fridge and take a look and see what's in there and follow your son around for one day, and then we'll see if it's genetic or it's just the family curse of bad habits. So even if I am wrong, I guarantee you that 80% of what this boy does on an emotional and physical level is getting in the way of his built-in guidance system called whole body healing, and that's it. Anita from Intercom, Dr. Wolfe, can you please explain the A to Z Masterclass and what is in it? Okay. Okay, I'll make it short. Oh, and then okay. All right, so the Masterclass, it's got a guide. It's the A to Z. I already told everybody that, who watches the show, that's your gift. If you want to go on. Oh, and then when you go in there, you'll type in master in the code, and then it'll ask for your card. I swear it's on YouTube now. It's on Facebook, that if we take 1 penny from you, we never will. You'll never have to pay, but you got to put your card information in on there, okay? And just put put master, go to the top of the page, Masterclass, put master in the code, and then go in. And what you're going to do is I'm going to show you how the invisible becomes the physical becomes the illness, and the illness creates the block that creates the pain and the suffering, what we call aging. Yes, every year I'm 1 year older on the number, but I'm not a year older with my mind or loving my life, having fun, feeling energetic. So that's what it's about. It's about teaching you that. But you go to an area in your body where they say you need a hip replacement, you need a knee replacement, or you've got a pain in your ankle, or you've got endometriosis, or you got fibroids, or you had surgery where there's a scar. I got 40 videos in there that explain what we do and why we will give you a money-back guarantee that if we don't go past your expectations. How's that? Because I'm going to tell you something. Back in 1920, that's when we first decided the body can no longer heal, and that's when corporations said that we're going to sell you off by the pound. She's also asking, what is I Am Woman? You said it's a new masterclass coming up in a few weeks. I Am Woman is the story about women and what happened 5,000 years ago and how today they are the canary in the coal mine. And I go in there and I show women how they can rise. And if you women don't want to rise up, you don't want to get your feminine power back, you can say goodbye to the human race. Because I'll tell you right now, between systems and some religions and by mankind, okay, mankind has taken women and made them less. Do you want to know something? When I was younger, about 12 years old, and through my lifetime when I was being raised, my father used to say, maybe they don't now, but this is how crazy it was. You know that you could actually, back about 100 years ago, you could pay to get your family out of hell. You could give money to the church. I'm not making this up. And then they had Fish Friday because they weren't getting enough money in the coffers. So then they had Fish Friday so that the fishermen would make more money so that they could get more money. Okay, so what the system does out there is change the rules all the time. You know what my father used to say? That women were created from man's rib. I'm serious. That's what my father used to say. I said to him, I said, Dad, I feels even here. And he cuffed me across the head. I'm not making this up. Okay? So I want you to tell you that women have been put down since the beginning of time. And that's because, I'll tell you why. Because women bring life into this world. They also live longer. They can also handle pain better. And they are as intelligent as us, or even more intelligent, because mankind is not kind. Man is a manipulator. Okay, so I've created a masterclass which will be coming out in 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, called I Am Woman, that is going to turn this upside down and inside out, because if women do not take their place, well, we will end the human race. There, that's my little thing for today. Casey from New York, Dr. Wolfe, what can I do about my husband? He calls me a health nut, but I don't mind that. I don't mind that so much. Well, you should mind it. Thank you very much. You see what I just said about women? I don't mind my husband calling me a health nut. Let me tell you something. You ever notice something? You know, men can pick on women, but watch women when they pick on men. Okay, and that's not all the time, so it's not like I'm taking a brush. All right? I don't mind that so much. What I do mind is he is getting my kids to do it get my kids to do it too. And I can't understand why he is creating obstacles when I'm trying to heal my family. Okay, I don't want to get into this one. I will just tell you, you've got to heal yourself, girl. You've got to love yourself first and foremost. Fill up your heart. And the reality is hold the loving line. The kids will see it, and after a while, they won't say it to you anymore. Let me tell you something. When I first started getting into this emotional thing and into loving myself, look at, my kids were young. I'm going to tell you what my family called me: Buddha, Jesus. They would make fun of me all the time. Okay? So understand that. And my family tried to get my children against me. So figure that one out. Okay? So understand, but it's not the family, it's their subconscious, because people don't like new things, especially if they're really different, like loving yourself. Who could ever figure that out? So understand something. You need to keep loving yourself, keep holding the line with the family, and if you don't get upset and just let him go on, he'll be quiet after a while, and then he'll learn. Okay? And don't say I told you so to him. You know, it's just that he's not stubborn. He's set in his ways. His beliefs are really strong. Okay? All right. Brian from Facebook. Dr. Wolfe, where is the SAC calcium? I've been online and I've been on it for 4 months. It has helped turn my osteoporosis around, but I am unable to order it. Where can I find it? Okay. Everybody, I'll just show it to you. This is called Cardigen. It's for joint problems. This is Dentagen. Okay, it's for dental problems. This is Ozo Jr. for children, which is amazing for autistic children, or for children that are not developing, or, you know, they're smaller, or they're not developing mentally. Dentagen, again, is for jaw problems and for jaw problems, necrosis, or for dental problems or weak teeth. Cardigen, again, I said, is for the joints. Alzagen is for Alzheimer's. Megagen is for people who want to go on a maintenance dose after they've got their calcium back into their bones. And you'll never have osteoporosis with it. It's the only true calcium product in the world. There's an algae one that they say is good, but there's no ion calcium product in the world except this. This is Merigen. This is the one you've been talking about. Now, Merigen, it's used in all chronic diseases, especially cancer. And what you got to do is now you've got to call into the clinic, because, believe it or not, the FDA actually said, you can sell it because it's non-toxic and the science is all there. But believe it or not, the results with this product is mind-blowing beyond anything. We use this product to actually, you have to understand something. Everyone that has osteopenia, osteoporosis, or any disease, especially cancer, has a calcium problem, right? So we will actually put people on the Marigen or any of these products, depending on how bad the problem is. But you can call into me. My call the 800 number, 855-900-4544 extension 5, and anybody can call me. I'll get to you, and I'll go through this product with you and teach you about this product. They will not let us put it up online. Yeah, figure that one out. I'll let you figure it out. I think you'll be able to figure it out. Anyways, but if you go to my library and log in, then you go to what's called the SAC guide, okay? And you can read about it, but watch the video, The Truth About Calcium and the Science of Calcium. You watch those and you'll get all the information you need, and then you've got to call in and we'll do the order and we'll send the product out. So what we do is, when people really want to become young again, and I do mean young again, and have the life that you're supposed to have, we will go in and get rid of their scar tissue, which is all the blocks in the body, and melt the crystallization through the things that we do between mind, diet, exercise. But then this is the only product in the world that will actually take the calcium that has left the bones and it will totally replace it. Oh, you heard what I said, right? It'll totally replace it. So, you know the kidney stones that you find with people? Well, that is a precancer condition. You are pulling out so much calcium. You know the gallstones? You know the calcium deposits in your breast? Do I need to keep going? Do you know that the gout that you have? You know that the bone spurs you're getting? Well, this is all coming out of your bones and getting displaced in your body, and it's causing the physical blocks and a lot of the pain you're having. Anyways, hope I answered your question. Okay. Joe from Facebook, how far away should we eat protein and starches since we can't eat them together? Well, you know, I'm not telling you can't eat them together, but the thing is, I didn't make the rules. That's nature's rules. And if you eat a protein, it takes longer to digest than a starch, right? A starch can take 45 minutes to an hour. But what if you had a tummy that was sticking out like Santa and hanging down? Well, then you need an hour and a half, 2 hours, wouldn't you? So depending on the tone you have, and wait a minute, did you chew your food? Most people will take it down in chunks. So let me put it to you this way. Everybody will give a time, but you know, let's say an hour and a half usually for if you ate animal protein, meat. Let's say 45 minutes if it was fish. Let's say if it was an hour if it was chicken. And if it was a starch food, let's say it would be 45 minutes, okay? And it could be a half an hour if you chewed it well. So if you were to eat everything you eat, you were to chew it into a liquid, then it would go through so efficiently you'd never have a digestive problem in your life, and you would be healthy. Look, it's like this. Back when they in the concentration camps, okay, there's many studies that were done and talked about this, and that was you could get you might only have that much food a day. Well, the person that ate it and didn't realize something, and they hardly chewed it because they were so hungry they swallowed it. The other person that took in a piece of it and they actually mixed their saliva in, they chewed it and they kept their head forward, because your body will always take back the food and swallow it when it's a liquid. And they would keep their head forward and they would keep chewing the food until it became a micronutrient and there was nothing left of it except liquid. That person, compared to the person that just normally chewed like people do, because people don't really chew their food today, they would get about 20 times the nutrition, and that's why they survived the concentration camps and didn't have the malnourishment problem, okay? I'm not saying they didn't have it at all, but they definitely reduced it. So when you go to eat, are you stressed out? So whenever I'm emotionally stressed out about something, if I am, I will get connected to my breath and I will do some exercise. And I will do the belly button therapy, right? Or I'll do something to bring me into a parasympathetic state, like do Avicen. Avicen will bring me there. calm myself down, because you cannot be in a sympathetic state and think you're going to digest anything properly. And then I'm going to chew my food, and then never bring troubles to the table and arguments. I don't know, families think that, the table is a place that we're going to discuss what we're pissed off about. Well, nobody digests food. You cannot bring that kind of stuff. You bring love to the table. You bring respect and honor, and you bless the food. All right? So there's so many things. When somebody says, well, what should you do? Well, the more honor and respect, and the more that you align yourself with universal laws and nature's laws, the easier that things are going to go. All right. Drake, are you looking after all the questions? Okay, thank you. Vanessa from Facebook, what is your opinion on donating plasma? Well, I don't see anything wrong with it, okay? And also, when you do donate plasma, it kicks your body and your immune system in. There's nothing wrong with it. And you may save somebody's life, all right? And it actually will jack up your immune system. And that's the truth. Pamela from Facebook, do we need colonoscopies? Oh, boy. I don't even like touching this one, guys. I really don't, okay? First of all, colonoscopies were basically outlawed, and the medical system was supposed to stop them 50 years ago. I would never get a colonoscopy. I won't tell people what to do anymore. You're asking me? I'm telling you I would never get one, okay? And that I would tell you that for me, my belief is they're unhealthy, and people always have troubles after they get them. And you'll never need a colonoscopy if you have a perfect day diet and you're on the daily cleansing tea, the black gold, and the tummy love, and you're doing belly button therapy, and you understand that your abdominal area is the holy grail, and if you keep that healthy, why would you need one? And you know why? The only reason why, okay, first of all, I have not gone for a test for anything. I will never go for a test. That's personal. I'm not telling you to not do it. But I say to people, don't go for a test because you're fearful, continually fearful. Is that any way to live? Oh, go for the test. Now I'm good until the next test, right? I don't care if you're going to someone that does live blood cell analysis or does hair analysis or urine analysis or any other test. If you're getting a test continually, that means you're in a fearful state, which is not a good situation at all. It's a bad situation. Okay? Let me see here. Somehow I went to the bottom of my... Okay, here we go. Casey from New York. Nope, did that one. Did that one. Oh, guess what, everybody? We're at the end. Okay, let me see if I have any here. Oh, we do. Alana from Facebook. What is your view on blood type dieting? I am an O type. Okay. There's some big confusion here. First of all, Dr. D'Adamo wrote the book on blood typing. Dr. D'Adamo was in New York. Dr. D'Adamo also had a colon therapy clinic. Darrell Wolfe, Dr. Wolfe, had a colon therapy clinic. My clinic was about 4 blocks from Dr. D'Adamo's clinic. I used to go out, and we used to have, we would meet for dinner every once in a while, lunch, I should say, and he would have pork chops, and I would not. I was a blood type A, he was a blood type O. But the reality is this. Blood type O's can have stronger hydrochloric acid in their stomach. Do I believe in animal products today? No, I don't. I think there's enough pain and suffering on this planet. I'm not against people that eat animal products. The problem is that if you eat animal products and they're not free range and they're not organically fed, they are so full of antibiotics. Do you know what you're doing to yourself? And the torture that they go through, if you could see what goes on, If there was glass walls on this factory farming, you would never eat it again, and you wouldn't be able to live with yourself because of all the torture that you see. And that's basically the truth. Okay? Blood type O's will digest animal protein better. So I will tell you, when I take a blood type O and get them off of eating so much animal protein, they get well. They struggle. I can talk to people so much. I talk to them so much all day long, and we run into the same, proof is in the pudding. I don't go for a blood typing diet, and I don't go that we should do it. I think that you should look at your symptoms, see when you eat, how to do it, and what you're doing. The rules change. Like I just said, if you chew your food well, you're going to digest better. The reality is, if you're an O type and you think you need animal protein, then you've been sucker punched. Now, if you want to eat animal protein, go ahead, but it better not make up any more than 10% of the weight volume in your diet, no matter who you are. That's only logical. Let me tell you this much. How many cadavers do you need to eat to get well? How many cadavers give you the protein you need? And the body needs amino acids, not protein. So let's make that perfectly clear. There are amino acids in fruit, but I wouldn't just eat fruit all day. Okay? We made baked beans. So when I get done here, I'm going to go upstairs and have some baked beans. Did I eat anything else today? Yes. I had a quart of carrot juice and I had a huge quart of blender drink, okay, that I made. And I drank 2 quarts of water, but I didn't eat anything else. So let me tell you this much. What does society talk about the most? Food. Society will just fill you up until you blow up. All right? You think you need to eat 3 meals a day and 3 snacks a day? You think you need to eat all these animal products to be well? No, this is all just made up. Understand something. I don't believe anything about society anymore. Did you hear what I just said? I believe in God Almighty. I believe in nature. And as far as humans go, they're all liars. Okay? Everybody that I meet is a liar. Now, are they bad people? No. But until you go in and you rewrite your story, okay, and you get rid of all the dysfunctional beliefs that we've been taught, which is we're full of them. We're full of all that BS, dysfunctional belief systems. Until you're going to do your homework and really do your homework and go in there and look for the authentic you, because you'll know the authentic you. You'll be happy 95% of the day, not 5% of the day. You know, it's stated that the majority of the population only experiences joy 2% of the day. And you're going to go, that's not true. And I'll tell you, yes, it is. I take a look around, and people don't smile unless they have a reason to smile. I smile all day long, even if there's chaos or if life isn't going my way, because, wow, that which we call God decided to actually create me. And I know that my spirit will live forever. And I am just so blessed to come down here to be able to participate in this fun-filled, life-threatening adventure called Planet Earth. You're not going to hear me whining and complaining. Well, maybe a little bit. It was pretty cold here yesterday. But the reality is this. I am so thankful, even when there's chaos, because if you actually think that chaos is going to leave your life, your family's chaos, for God's sakes. There's chaos out there. Watch the news. They make it up, right? You got all these elite people wanting to take over the world, and they just don't get enough, and they're the ones that are pulling the strings in the government. So it's always going to be chaos out there, and I understand that, but guess what? I'm going to mind my own business, and I'm going to have a beautiful day every day, and when you call me up, I'm going to cheer you up and tell you that, you know what? There is an amazing brave heart in there that that's worth loving totally. And when you start learning to totally love yourself, stop judging yourself and honor yourself and say, yeah, 3, 2, 1, I got this. And you can call me crazy, making up these 12 loving steps. Well, I had to make them up to save my own butt from my own family, from this world. I don't even know. I would never kill myself, but I don't know why I'd want to be here if I wasn't the master of my mind, because then I'd have a landmine. I'd be blowing up all the time. So anyways, no. Back to your question. No, I do not believe in that. I do know that blood type A's better They have a whole plant-based constitution. I do know that O's will digest protein, but guess what? O's do not get the symptoms that A's and A, B, and B's do. But guess what? O's wake up one day and they go, yeah, you've got a cantaloupe-sized tumor in your gut. I never felt a thing. Yeah, because you had hydrochloric acid that could digest the food, but it's still rotted down below. End of story. I have dealt with this forever. You know, in my book, Healthy to 100, if you ever want it, you know, you can call up, pay the shipping, you can get it for free. And it goes through everything. I do have blood typing in there, but I have it for people to understand that there are some guidelines that we can follow, but it's not a Bible. Nature. Look to nature, okay? You know, somebody's always writing a book and wants to become popular. What diet will it be next? I mean, the keto diet is going to blow up, okay? The keto diet with all this animal protein, with all this bacon, with all this cream, with all this dairy, it causes inflammation. That's all I'm going to say. And you will lose weight, but guess what? You're going to have problems. Christine from Facebook, I'm taking Tummy Love and Black Gold. I'm thirsty and taste metal. What does this mean? Well, it's not coming from the product. It's not, taste metal. And you're thirsty? Well, guess what? Do you know what happens when you start taking this? It starts drawing all the toxins. And remember something, with the Black Gold and the Tummy Love, it actually encapsulates the acidity, the heavy metals, and the toxins. It will actually hold 3 to 4 times its weight in toxicity, and it'll drop off over 40 different nutrients to your cells. It's intelligent. So the heavy metals, well, maybe they're being pulled from you, but I still don't understand it, because the humic part will encapsulate the heavy metals, and the fulvic part will encapsulate the heavy metals, where the humic part will actually help to balance the hormones and neutralize the bugs, the bad bugs. All right. I want to thank everybody for joining me today. It's Friday, and this weekend what I'm doing is I'm working on the masterclass, I Am Woman. And like I said, I hope to have that out in 6 weeks. And I hope everybody enjoyed the show today. Keep sending your questions in. This is your show. And when you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe below and make sure you click on the bell to enable notifications so that you never miss a show. And just know that all your questions matter, and that all of these questions that we do are time-stamped on YouTube, so you can go right to the question instead of watching the whole show if you don't want, okay? And don't forget to join us next week for John Killick and Robin Senick. They are master trainers, and they are masters. And you know what? Live your dream, and that's what they're doing. Find out what your passion is. Find out what your dream is. Find out what your purpose is, and become the gift, and then give that gift to the world, because that's when we're going to see a big change. When you start really embracing the amazing you, because everybody out there is amazing. I'm telling you that right now. Also, next week, we have 2 shows with Dr. Michael Finkelstein, everything you need to know about Alzheimer's on Wednesday, and then on Thursday, TikTok Lyme disease, and then the following Monday, we'll do the Q&A. God bless everybody. Have a beautiful weekend. Stay safe, okay? And again, thank you to all my listeners, because you make the show possible. 3, 2, 1, you got this. There's a new sheriff in town. It's called self-love. Fill your heart up. Shine that light on your family, okay? And the next time that they don't give you a hug, give them one. And make it heart to heart. When you hug them heart to heart, and hold that hug until you melt together. And understand, fill your own heart up so that you don't keep on breaking your heart. And you do. You break your heart because you rely on other people to fill it up for you and tell you how amazing you are. Tell yourself you're amazing. And shine that light on everybody else. God bless. If you're looking for life-saving and life-changing information, well, you've come to the right place. Don't forget to click and subscribe. Stay connected.